guys, so today I'm here to film a book review for Mirage by Sommi Dao. I think that's how you say her name. I'm so bad with pronouncing people's names, like it's my one flaw. I'm excited to talk about this book. I wasn't going to film a review, but then as I kept reading it, I just realized I had to talk about it. And this happens a lot with the books that I read because I'm suddenly just like, nah, I'm not going to do it, but then I end up having to do it. So mainly it's like if I have an anticipated read, I will film a review for it. But other than that, it's just if I really loved a book that I will film a review for it. Or if I really didn't like a book, I really need to vent about it. But anyway, there is going to be like spoilers in this video, so if you haven't read the book, probably best not to actually watch this video because you don't want to be spoiled for what happens in the book, but I'm excited to get into it. So I wasn't really sure what I was expecting with this book, but a Moroccan inspired sci-fi was not it. Like, this seriously just read so much like a desert fantasy, and then for them to bring in like space travel and spaceships and tablets and computers and droids, like I was like, what is going on? It's amazing. As I did say, I did really like this book and I gave it 5 stars, but the only thing that I had trouble with was how big the world is. Like, there's so many planets and worlds and moons and stars and all this stuff, and there's different galaxies and different star systems, and there's so many characters and there's so many royal families fighting each other, and like they were overtaken by something and then someone else happened, and it's just like it was all happening and I didn't know who anyone was or what their titles were or why. So many fantasies are like this that it's okay. Like, I can get over the fact that it's so big, but I just, it was hard. It was confusing. As I started getting to near the end, I could kind of pick up who everyone was. Like, and I mean, in my notes, I'm here like, you know, Idris, last hero, Bana Salah, and then what's it, Furet, Hera is still the Dowager Sultan, and like all these different people, and I'm just like, you are someone and you are someone. But I just had difficulty. And when I read Strange to Dreamer, the world was too confusing for me. Like, I had to give it 4 stars because most of the book I'm like, what? Like, this one at least I could sort of look past it a little bit. So if I can look past it, I give it a 5 stars, but if I can't, I give it a 4 stars. But it was just confusing. Amani, our main character, was at her majority night, and it's a very special night because it's where all girls that come of age get their dan, which is a tattoo on their face that just talks about like who is their family and like what their family wishes for them, your hopes and dreams, and it's just meant to be a marker of who you are. Well, after the night is underway and she's had a tattoo ceremony and she's become a full-grown woman, droids come into the ceremony and start scanning girls aged between like 12 and 20. They get to Amani and then she's a match for something and she gets taken from her family and where she lives and gets taken to the palace. She is told when she gets there that she is going to be the body double for the Princess Maram because they look identical. Amani is stripped of her heritage, so they laser off her tattoo and they make her face different and conform it so she looks more like the princess, and they tell her that she can't have her language or her family or anything, and she is just being chucked in the palace to become this person completely against her will. The only way for her to survive is to completely embody the princess and practically become her. So it took me a little while to warm to Amani. Like, I just felt like she was so timid at the start of the book. She was always trying to do the right thing and keep her brothers doing the right thing as well. And then when she's taken and when she comes face to face with Maram, she just becomes this total like snarky bitch, and I'm like, what happened here? That was not the vibe I was getting from her character when she was first introduced, and for her to suddenly do a 180 and become someone different, I was just like, okay, what? Like, now I see her as the person who's snarky, but still, juxtaposition of the change there was very annoying. Like, yeah, it's kind of understandable that as she learns to become Maram, who is like this complete bitch, that she would sort of become that a little bit because she gets used to her and kind of lacks the power of telling people what to do, but like too much change. But Amani did a really good job of becoming Maram, and she really did like thrive. I mean, yes, she was kidnapped and she's never gonna forgive that, but she does kind of get swept up in the palace life of how lush and fun and like inventive it is to be in this world, and to, you know, to be able to finally eat, to have clothes, to have everything. And I know it's all materialistic stuff, but to her, it's something to grasp onto because she doesn't have her family there. But I just like the way that she started to enjoy sort of the role that she had, and like it was just the development of that part of her life as well was really cool. Amani misses her family every single day, but sometimes acceptance is just better. Like, you can get through the day if you can just accept it and not fight anymore. And I know that sounds bad, but the different characters in different situations, it's like most of the time they should fight out of it, but sometimes it's just you gotta give up. in a sense. Marnie really does get a taste of what the VAF have done to the star system that she lives in as well. How their reign really does revolve around fear and pain. Like in the palace, it's not as prominent like where she is, but when she does go out as Maram, she does see the way that the king treats people and how a lot of the people in his court treats people, and they just want to kill everyone, and it's like, God, guys, and they're trying to get rid of all the culture ever. The VAF is the only thing that's important to these people, and it's just really sad. But the thing is there was never hope that it ever could have been stopped, so everyone again just accepted that this was just how they were going to have their lives. So Hermione does end up being a spy for the rebellion, because when she goes off to meet Marim's grandmother in her estate, she does talk to Furat and she finds out that she's part of the rebellion, and then she joins the rebellion, and what's her name? Arranas is the rebellion leader, but she's also like a body double of like the goddess who lived like 1,000 years ago that everyone prays to, which is really weird. Like, so obviously she was reborn to look exactly like her. But all this stuff going with Hermione, she's trying to find out information, and she finds a few things and gets into the rebellion and is trying to help them because she's trying to do what she can. It is always a very dangerous risk, and I mean, she did get called out on it. So Marim at the start was just horrible. Like, that's all there was to her character. Like, she had no depth or layers. She was just a horrible person, and to her to be the princess who was going to be the next ruler was just shit. Marim grew up with the Vaff, as her father was the king, but her mother was from Anadala, so she has two different cultures to reflect on, and her mother did die when she was a lot younger, so she has always been with the Vaff and has had their life thrust upon her, so she's never known any different. If her mother was still alive, she would have raised her with their culture and with kindness, and she probably would have been a different person. So Marim hates her mother's people, and in turn they don't trust her to be their ruler. But the Vaff also hate her because she's not a full-blooded Vaff, so she has got people on all sides of her hating her, and no one wants her to rule. She always has to be on watch for people trying to kill her, and that's why she needs a body double. She's never had friends or family or anyone there that really cares about her. And as you keep reading, you really see how lonely she is, and she really has a strong front up of trying to be one thing, but she is totally a different person. She just wants to have a family, and she could have gotten that with her mother's people, and I really feel like nature versus nurture is a strong argument and a strong part of the storyline here, and I think that's what the author was trying to convey, and it was done really well. So Hermione and Marim become like sisters as the book went on, and I did not expect that relationship, but I think Marim is honestly my favorite character. Like, I love her. It was very hateful at the start. As Hermione got to know Marim and understand her a lot more, we'd spend a lot of time together, and Marim would always seek her out, and that's what I thought was really sweet too, is she'd sort of come into Hermione's room and be like, you know, just want to chill with you. That's cool. So when Hermione found out the rebellion was going to assassinate her, she had none of that. At the start of the book, in the prologue, you have it that someone's trying to kill Marim, but then you find out it's actually Hermione, and because she knows that it's coming, she doesn't die, because she drops down at the last second and sees the kid that's going to do it and goes, no. But because of that hesitation and the fact that she knew, everyone's like, bitch, you in the rebellion. I thought it was such a great part of the book that she chose Marim over the rebellion, because she thought that she could learn to be a good ruler and also learn to understand both sides of the world and the conflict that is happening. And it was gone to shit because Hermione sort of stuffed it, but Marim sort of stuffed it, and Nadine stuffed it as well. Hermione has now been locked up in her rooms because all that Marim can see is Hermione worked against her with the rebellion, and Hermione has regressed to being cruel and feeling hopeless with no one to trust, and that was so sad because like Hermione's trying to tell her, being like, I saved you, like I went in your place, and she's like, no, you silly bitch, you fell against me, like we ain't fam no more, we ain't nothing. I really hope in the next book the relationship becomes as strong as it was and even stronger, because I love it. So we did have a romance in this book, and we didn't really need it, but like who cares? Like, I mean, honestly, romance is my favorite. Like, so many people would probably be like, ugh, the romance was shit. It wasn't shit, it's just it wasn't needed. Like, this story only needed to have the relationship between Hermione and Marim, because that was good enough. We didn't need no romance taking over the story. As I was saying, romance is something I love. Like, I love shipping couples and I love being behind relationships. So when I read a book and there's no romance, I'm just here like, what? Idris, who is the love interest, so he is engaged to marry Marim, but he actually likes Hermione, but they look the exact same, dude, so what? He was able to tell straight away that Hermione wasn't Marim because, you know, she's obviously nicer and she laughs at his jokes and fell in love with him. He promises not to tell anyone, and they slowly become friends, and then it develops to being something more. Hermione really did help him rediscover things about his culture that he had lost or forgotten, because like he had this tattoo on his arm that he didn't know what it meant, and she would also help him because she can read the language that he has forgotten, and like that was really sweet. I liked that part of the story, and they were able to talk about things that you couldn't talk to with anyone else because it would be like treason. It was a sweet romance, but like in the end, when like Hermione's like, nah, we can't see each other, it's only gonna be in functions if we're ever gonna be the body double again, and he's just like, I love you, Hermione, and she's just like, I love you too, now bye. I was just like, okay, like, I mean, is this gonna be one of those things where he just becomes non-existent as a person and character in a relationship, or are they going to end up together? I feel like the plot has to go in the stage where it's like, you know, Marion becomes a good ruler and she's like, oh, Marnie, I love you, babe. You can go marry Idris. I don't want to marry him anymore. It's just an arranged marriage. I don't know. But yes, I really did like this book. Like, there's, I say, like a few things that I didn't like, but I mean, it's like, it's okay if there's a few things that you're a little bit like iffy about, but if you mainly love the rest of the book, like, I find star rating so hard sometimes, because it's like, is this book really worth a 4 stars, or is it worth a 5? And then I think about the books that I've given 5 stars to, and I'm just like, it's too hard. Like, I think this will be in like my list of top favorites of the year because it's really pretty. And I was actually buddy reading this with Sasha, but you know, she got married on Saturday, which is really cool, so she didn't get the book finished, so hopefully she'll watch my video when they're like, hey. But yeah, I'm excited that I have read this. Like, it was one that I wasn't really sure about, but the Biblio squad picked it, so I was like, yeah, might as well read it because it sounds like it'll be good. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.